That restlessness is about the failures of Kenya Kwanza. It is now getting to the point of no return. We are witnessing the chicken coming back home to roost. And they were roosting perfectly. The people of Kenya, and the people of Central Kenya in particular, they have crossed the Red Sea. They've left Pharaoh. Pharaoh will try to go after them with his chariots. There is only one consequence, one end result of that Pharaoh chase. He's going to drown in the Red Sea.
Hello, a very good day to you, ladies and gentlemen, depending on whichever part of the world you're watching us from. Welcome to another episode of the Candid Talk here on Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. Such a pleasure to always have you on board. Of course, a lot of things are happening in the country, and as we always tell you here is that the entire team of Nairobi Review is more than glad to bring you up to date with comprehensive analysis of every political move taking place in the country, and all that pertains to leadership and governance hearing. Of course, this fine morning I'm joined by one of the most, important learned friends we have in this country. He's a constitutional lawyer and an expert in matters public governance. Wakili Willis Otieno, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you, King.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
After such a while.
Yes.
People are actually asking, where have you been for this past few weeks?
I'm here. I'm here. Can never miss this show.
Okay.
Yes.
Welcome. I want us to look at the political heat in the country, and I want us to begin from Meru. Definitely, they are looking at the president's visit to that particular county. Now, in the first place, I would ask this question. In as much as the president terms these visits development visits, do you see them as development visits? Do they serve as very important at the end of the day? Because he was there, then a short while ago he actually left the country. What do you make of such kind of visits?
You know, the first point that we must address is that issues of development are found in the national budget.
Okay. Because
that is where you find the appropriations on revenue and appropriations on expenditure. So the budget is not made on the rooftop of a motor vehicle. The budget is made at the executive, tabled before parliament, and the revenue measures to finance that budget are brought to parliament through the Appropriations Act. Anything the president says outside the rubric of the national budget is political talk. That is why, go across the country. Meru is not the first place Ruto has gone to. He's gone to so many places. In fact, I was in Siaya the other day. There's a road that he has launched now 2 times in the last 1 year. And not even a single tractor is on that road. Why? Because go back to the national budget. Go to the Appropriations Act. That road is not factored. So when he comes to tell you that we are launching this road, we are going to build a dam in Meru worth 150 billion. In fact, it was 300 billion. I mean, go to the national budget, check if that dam was factored in. Check the Appropriations Act. What is the financing model that was proposed for that dam? Is it own revenue, that's taxation, or is it loans borrowed for that particular project? There's none. So obviously, some of those things that he's doing are just roadside declarations, and he's hoping to stay true to character, to hoodwink Kenyans that is bringing development. Don't bring development from the rooftop of a motor vehicle. Bring development by passing a national budget that factors in whichever project you want to implement, and that you have an Appropriations Act that sets out the financing, the way in which you're going to finance that particular project. So Meru was purely, in my view, a political tour. And Meru did not disappoint. Meru gave a political answer.
And actually, that is where I want us to get into looking at the political heat in the country and how things are actually moving. The president was in that particular area. Of course, he received, Meru being the part of the larger central Kenya region, he received quite a number of votes there. And now you've just said here that that was a political tour for you. Now,
Yes.
tell me, did the deputy president, in your view, achieve any political motive that perhaps he had in that particular area?
Ask yourself, what is the take home? What is it that any Kenyan on the street who followed the events in Meru will say they took home from that trip? The take home was that the president convened meetings by the roadside. And in most of those meetings, there was what you call people expressing their displeasure. Somebody will argue, as I've seen Kenya Kwanza trying to twist, that the heckling that was taking place in those meetings were targeted at local leaders, Sijui governor, when you went to Nakuru, Sijui Kega. No, those meetings were not convened by those governors. Those meetings were presidential meetings. When the president calls you to his meeting, and anybody attends that meeting, it is his respect that you're giving.
But of course, we saw, okay, Wakili, just make me understand this. We saw the kind of heckling that was taking place in Meru. Mostly, it was taking place when the governor of that particular county was brought on board.
The point is this. It is the president's meeting, not the governor's meeting.
Okay.
And you saw the president take a microphone to try to tell the people to keep quiet. Even threatened to report them to God if they continue heckling. Now, if it is his meeting and he stands up to speak, if the people have respect for him, they will shut up and listen to him. In this particular case, they were showing him open defiance to his face, even opponent treatment and issuing threats of reporting to the Almighty. They continued. That is just the beginning with the governor, who is trying to give a platform to talk, and they're telling him she will not talk, for example.
Okay.
But it is him being defied, not the governor. The governor did not beg the people, please allow me to talk. It is him who was begging the people to keep quiet and stop the kind of expressions they were making. And the people in their numbers chose to ignore him, and they continued to communicate their displeasure. This is what I call the natives are restless. And that restlessness is not about Kawira Mwangaza. That restlessness is about the failures of Kenya Kwanza. It is now getting to the point of no return. We are witnessing the chicken coming back home to roost. And they were roosting perfectly in that meeting convened by President Ruto. The people were now expressing their displeasure with Kenya Kwanza's failed economic policies. And there's nothing they will do about it. As it were, this country is on a fast track to economic collapse. Why do I say so? Look at the shilling last time we were here. It was retailing, $1 to the shilling was 158. Today, it is retailing at 164 to the dollar. In fact, that is what the CBK rate. But if you go to the bank, they'll sell it to you at 167, 168.
Of course.
Now, that depreciation of the shilling is what is causing the people to feel the economic pain. And Kenya Kwanza has failed and will never address the economic challenges of this republic.
Of course, we'll get into that conversation on whether the government has actually failed and how it will actually manage to maneuver itself in terms of addressing the economic challenges that are actually facing this country. But then make me understand this. Still sticking to the politics side of it. The Meru governor actually came up and she was like, these people are being used by certain political heavyweights in this region to undermine me here. It was like she was taking that total responsibility and blaming it on other people for the kind of events that we witnessed there in Meru. But here you are saying very well that those hecklers, okay, those who are heckling were not even actually directing them to her. You're saying that the president, because that was a meeting with the president. Now, my question therefore would be, Do this heckling and all that kind of hostile reception that assumably the president received in Meru translate to votes or lack thereof?
Of course, it starts with public expression of displeasure as a leader. When elections are called, that public expression of displeasure is translated into a vote. And I can tell you, anybody who still thinks that Ruto has Central in his pocket like he had before is living in denial. The people of Central, just like any other person in the Republic of Kenya, has gone through the economic pain of Kenya Kwanza.
Okay.
There is no vision that they are running this country on. You will not rig the stock market. It will expose you. It has exposed them. They have no response to the economic problem. So that the people expressing themselves in the manner they are doing, at the end of the day, what are they seeing as the vision of the nation? That Kenya Kwanza is leading us to this particular vision. What is it? Who told you Meru has a problem of what? That now they need to build a 300 billion dam. You know, sometimes these people talk about figures and you wonder if they live in this reality or they have their own world. Because Thika Road, from Nairobi to Thika, was built at the cost of 30 billion, 32 billion to be precise. We can see it as a physical project. Now somebody is telling you they want to pump in 300 billion to build a dam in Meru. I mean, what to see Wajinga? Anybody can see that that is an open lie. And there's nothing about it. So when people attend these meetings, they're already frustrated. And I don't think that even anybody need to pay the natives to express themselves. It was bound to happen. The governor may just be the one that is closer to them. They see it on an everyday basis. So they start with the governor expressing their displeasure. But the decibels are rising. Being the president's meeting, as they express themselves in his meeting, and even despite his entreatment for them to calm down, they continue. Okay. It is open defiance. And history is a very good point of reference. Ruto is not the first president of the Republic of Kenya. Tell me which president has ever had that kind of reception, that even when they hold a microphone to try to tell people to keep quiet, to calm down, and they continue. Because it tells you, every time a president goes out there, he comes with the office, the stature of the office of president, that when he stands up to speak, in fact, in any public appearance, if the president was sitting down and he stands up to go and talk, everybody stands up because it's deference and respect. Now, we are not just witnessing people jeering at his function. We are now witnessing people openly defying him, his word coming out of his mouth. Please calm down. Please stop this. I will report you to God. And they continue fearlessly. Now, you cannot twist this in any way. This is squarely on his slot. If he still had the kind of respect that he had before, just by virtue of his presence alone at the public function, I'm telling you, people will have stood and looked at him in awe. Because go to any meeting that the president attends, the moment he stands up to speak, everybody who was sitting stands up. Because it's respect. Okay. Now you imagine, not only is he on his feet talking, he is now addressing them and is making a direct entreatment to them to calm down, and they continue. Okay.
Now, here we are. My question would therefore be now, you using the case in study, of course, of Meru County there. Of course, he's visited other counties in that particular region in the past, but in this particular one, even the deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua, was there. Now, does this show any sign of tilting in the political wave of central region? And if at all it's tilting, why is it tilting towards?
I've told you here before. The lowest voter turnout in the last elections was in the central Kenya region.
Okay.
That is a fact. They are the lowest voter turnout. And a region that traditionally, since 1992, has always reported a minimum 90% voter turnout. This time they were slotting slightly above 55% voter turnout. They're the lowest voter turnout across the country. Now it means they were not overwhelmingly aligned to any of these two factions. They belong to the 8 million Kenyans who didn't vote. Majority of the 8 million Kenyans who didn't vote are from Central Kenya region. William Ruto is a minority president because he got 7.1 million votes, as announced. Baba got 6.9 million votes, as announced. The non-voter was 8 million. So it means the 8 million plus Baba's 6.9 are the majority. He barely got a third of the votes cast. So he's a minority president. Now he's losing more and more of those 7.1 who voted for him. So his minority status is being affirmed further. Now where will Central Kenya go? They will go to the political camp that addresses the problem that they are facing. And the problem they are facing is called an economic problem. It is the economy stupid, as James Carville used to say. It's the economy stupid. Don't tell us about wars. Don't tell us about foreign relations. Don't tell us about Italy. Don't tell us about Iraq. Don't tell us about EU. Don't tell us about tell us about the economy. And James Carville crafted that term. It's the economy stupid. That is how Bill Clinton became president, against a successful general who had come from the Iraq-Kuwait conflict and defeated Iraq in 1991. The election was 1992. He became president because it was the economy. So also in Kenya today, ask any Kenyan on the street today, what is their number one issue on governance? And I assure you, they will say in one accord, it is the economy. So which political camp will come up with believable economic blueprint to transform this country? Who will create opportunities, economic opportunities for our people within and without our borders? That is where Central Kenya will go. Because what is the promise of Kenya Kwanza? They've lived it. They are poorer today than they were last year at this point in time. They are poorer today than they were before the elections were held. And one thing that seems to be certain from Kenya Kwanza is that tomorrow you will be poorer than you are today. With each single day, Kenya Kwanza's failed economic policies is driving you deeper into poverty. If you had a job, you are guaranteed that tomorrow, chance of losing a job are higher tomorrow than even it is today. So job security is a big issue. If you're a graduate, a university student, you have more uncertainty about tomorrow's job, the job market, than even finishing your studies. If you're in the school, you are not sure your school fees will come from tomorrow. So that is their legacy.
Okay. So Wakili, are you trying to intimate that there is some sort of leadership vacuum in Central Kenya? Because I've asked you, where is the political wave tilting towards? And you're telling me here that the voters will actually follow that kind of faction which will actually bring in the solution to the economic crisis that they find themselves
Yes, that's actually, yes, sorry.
So you're saying there is a leadership vacuum there?
There is, without a doubt, a leadership vacuum. Because they left Uhuru Kenyatta, went to Kenya Kwanza. They've lived Kenya Kwanza's economic promise. They are where they are today. It means, and they are leaving Kenya Kwanza. But we are not seeing an avalanche of Central joining Azimio so far. Right? So it means probably they are looking for someone who will come up with a solution, a tangible promise that addresses their problem, which is the economy. And when that emerges, you will see Central Kenya, and not just Central Kenya, the bulk of Kenyans will coalesce around that leadership. Who is it in our political landscape is talking the economy, is dissecting the economic problem, and is proffering tangible and practical solutions to the problem. The last time, William Ruto hoodwinked Kenyans who voted for him by telling them tapea mama mboga 10 billion, mtu ya boda boda 50 billion. Kenyans forgot to ask him Where will you get that 10 billion from?
Okay.
Where will you get 50 billion from? They didn't ask him that question. Wajinga wamerevuka. Kenyans are now the wiser.
Okay.
Nobody is going to stand on a platform and tell Kenyans, I will give you 10 billion again. That script has been used before and has been discarded. It has been proved to be fake. It's lies. That is done. The next person who will come to stand on the platform to talk the economy, they will interrogate his economic policy. What is your understanding of the economic problem? 1. 2, what is your proposed solution to the economic problem?
Okay.
3, is your economic solution tangible? And that is where we come in. Team Jimmy Wanjigi and Willie Sotieno. We are very clear. We will not give Mama Mboga 10 billion. We will find new markets, Mama Mboga. I gave you an example last time.
Okay.
Lagos market, 15 million people live in Lagos. They import the bulk of their vegetables from Europe and Americas. If you are to have a landing rights of our vegetables in the Lagos market, that every morning we have fresh vegetables coming from Kenya to land in Nigeria to feed the 15 million people in Lagos. How much opportunities will we have created to our people? The market women, people in the value chain, the people working on the aviation sector, the transport people, the young boys who are working on the farms. So it's an entire value chain. So that is something they can say, it's tangible, we can hold it to account.
Okay.
We need a charter flight, we need landing rights of our vegetables in Lagos market. Just an example. Now those are things that when the time comes, we will have a conversation with Kenyans and show them practical, tangible solutions.
Okay.
On the issue of debt, let me just say this. On the issue of debt, we've said our debt is odious. 70% of the debt that we are paying for is odious. It's fake debt. We will not pay it.
Okay, well and good. In short, you're trying to say that, of course, you've intimated already that there is a leadership vacuum therein. And according to you, Jimmy Wanjigi is the real deal.
He's the real deal. He is the
Mount
deal.
Kenya region.
Not just Mount Kenya. To take over the leadership of Kenya. He is the real deal. Because if the problem is the economy, tell me which leader discusses and dissects the economy and gives practical and tangible solutions like Jimmy
But
does.
Wakili, our politics in this country really is you best.
Of course they are. They are.
And if that is the case, as you're saying it here, a case has been put forth that one of the reasons as to why we saw that low voter turnout in central Kenya in the last general elections is because they did not have any formidable candidate who was definitely from that particular region. Yeah.
You see, that is true. The point is this. There are many things that influences a vote. One of them is tribe, which you don't deny. Number 2 is the issue that you campaign on. What is your brand? Kibaki, in 2002, was seen as the unifying candidate.
Okay.
He brought together the whole of the rest of the country versus Moi. That was an issue. The issue was a united front to deal with the Moi dictatorship. Let Moi go home. Uhuru, in 2013, he was seen as they were doing the digital analog campaign. It was freshness. That was an issue. That we are bringing a fresh generation of leaders that will come up with a modern solution to modern problems by proffering modern solutions.
Okay.
And they portrayed CORD that time as being very analog. Ruto, in the last election, he portrayed himself as dynasties versus hustlers.
Okay.
An issue that it is maybe time that we upset the entire table. We bring people who are at the bottom to the table so that going forward, the conversation will be about giving opportunities to those who've never benefited from this system, those who've been left out. That was an issue. It helped him to galvanize the tribal votes. So there's an issue-based part of it, and I agree there's also the tribal part of it. But number 1 is even before the tribe comes to you, what do you represent as an issue for our politics?
I wish I would ask you what would make the difference between Waiga Mwaura, of course, was from central Kenya.
What was the issue? No, what was the issue stood on? What is the issue that you can say Waiga Mwaura stood on?
Waiga Mwaura.
Do you even know? Tell me one issue. Tell me one.
He also had
what issue? What issue? The question is, I'm not saying he didn't have enough money. He had a manifesto. But what was the issue that he was identified with.
Okay. So you're saying that that is...
And that issue, he spoke about moral values. It was moral. He was relying heavily on his religious background.
Okay.
It was a morality question for him. But that was not the issue of that election. We were not about morality at the time. But maybe sometimes, once we address our economic challenges, our politics may be about morality.
Okay.
Like in America, you find it's about pro-choice, pro-life, owning gun rights, not having guns, restrictions on guns, questions of gay rights, no gay. You see, those issues have now crystallized,
Okay.
because the economic challenge has been addressed. That is why I say we will be discussed, analyzed, critiqued on our response to the issue of the moment. And our view, the issue of the moment that Kenyans are grappling with is an economic problem. What is our preferred solution to this economic problem? Is it tangible? Is it practical? Is it believable? And the people of Kenya will have their say. And I assure you, they will vote Jimmy Willie when that time comes.
Well, let's wait and see. If at all, finally, if at all the political wave in the central region is actually changing its course, do you think that the president has got any other option? What can he do actually to regain the kind of support that he had there back then?
I can assure you of one thing. Now I said it. Tomorrow is guaranteed to be pain. Tomorrow is guaranteed. It will be more painful than yesterday. People are leaving Ruto and Kenya Kwanza because of his promised economic pain. There is nothing he will do to change the economic trajectory of this country. So what that tells you, he is guaranteed that he's just going to continue hemorrhaging more and more people. There is no turning back. The people of Kenya, and the people of central Kenya in particular, they have crossed the Red Sea. They've left Pharaoh. Pharaoh will try to go after them with his chariots. There is only one consequence, one end result of that Pharaoh chase. He's going to drown in the Red Sea. In fact, for me, my concern and what I'm worried about is if Kenyans will continue suffering for the next 4 years. At what point will people snap? Because they will snap. This pain for 4 years, I don't know.
Well, so you're saying that there is no escape route for the president?
He has none.
Well and good, ladies and gentlemen, I want us to actually weigh in on this conversation and tell us what you think about the kind of reception that the president received at definitely the grounds in Meru County when he had that development tour there. In as much as Wakili here is saying that that was a political tour, but we've asked a lot of questions and a number of Kenyans are asking questions. If at all it was a political tour, do you believe that he achieved his political goal in that particular region? Kindly weigh in on this conversation and tell us what you think about this. But please remember to tune in to some of our conversations that will be coming up next. Jerel Kabiro is always here with Philip Kisia, as well as our very own Richard Mwenje will be here with the political conversation on his new show, Richard Mwenje Exclusive. Kindly do not fail to tune in. Allow me to stop this conversation at this particular moment. Till we meet again, have yourself a lovely day. My name is Evans Okenyi.